Well, welcome to Industrial Cigars, but I think the first question I have to ask you is the beard. How long did it take, and when's the last time somebody saw your face?
2 weeks ago. No, just joking around.
It's a weed.
Have a problem, yeah. Never stops growing.
Well, welcome to Industrial Cigars.
Thank
We're
you.
so happy that you're here. Sebastien, tell me your last name. Say your last name.
You really want to know it? Because it's hard to pronounce, right?
That's why I'm asking the question and not telling you what your last name is.
Decoppet. Decoppet. It basically means from Coppet. Coppet is a little town in Switzerland.
Okay. So that's where you're from, Switzerland?
Yeah. Originally born in Zurich and raised in Geneva.
Okay. And how long and then where has your path led you to ultimately Oak Cliff, Texas?
That's a good question. Well, I've been lucky enough to move around pretty young already. I did some bad experiences, some good experiences. Probably one of the best was moving to Central America, to Honduras, which brought me back after that, of course, to Switzerland. And then, for some reason, about 6 months ago, it was like, oh, it's maybe time to move to the US and take care of ourselves, of the activities here.
Right.
So that was, I think that's the main lines that brought me to Dallas, and I really enjoy it. I mean.
So you went from Switzerland to Honduras?
Yeah, I know
with stops in
sense,
between, but the biggest steps was to Honduras.
Yeah, definitely.
So, so how long have you been in the cigar industry? How long have you had your brand? And what was your inspiration to get started with your own brand?
So there is different ways to explain this, but I'd say in the cigar industry, 4 to 5 years, for me it started when I just happened to meet Adin Perez, which is Nestor Plasencia's nephew, in the streets there. They don't have tourism there. Basically, I didn't look really like a Honduran person, I think.
Right.
I didn't speak Spanish, so he kind of looked at me and wanted to know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah, right.
And that's exactly how it happened. So we tried to communicate and everything. It was just a random meeting in the streets that actually led him to bring me to his factory after talking. He was like, let me show you something. And after this first tour, I was like a child, and it just started like this. And then after that, he said like, well, let me show you something else. And he moved us to the one of Nestor Plasencia's factory, which was even more mind-blowing, huge, absolutely fantastic experience. Right. And that was the first day. I was like, this is the first day in Danlí. It just made no sense at all.
It's crazy that you were literally in the streets in Honduras. You meet Nestor Plasencia's nephew?
Nephew. Mm-hmm.
And then one more step, you're with Nestor Plasencia, that anyone in the cigar industry would give anything to have dinner with the guy, just to spend time with him. And you just went boom, boom, and you're sitting in front of him.
Yeah, it was completely. I'm still, when I think about it again, and worse than that, I didn't realize at that point who they were. I did know about them, but I didn't realize who they were. And the way they treated me since that first day is just mind-blowing. It's hard to explain how you're a stranger to everybody, you don't speak the language at that time, and they don't ask for anything. They look at you. Honestly, I was 22 years old from Switzerland. A family, like, why the fuck would I care about you?
Exactly.
At all. It was really, you know what? You want to see that? Come, stay with us.
You have a basic flavor profile that you're trying to accomplish. Is there something that in your mind you're saying, this is the cigar that I want to bring to the market? Or do you go, I think this cigar will sell in the market?
That's a good question. It's probably two very different approaches. No, I think to be able, when you blend yourself, and I don't say I'm doing it alone. I mean, I'm always sitting with Adine, with my wife. We do it together.
Sure.
But if you do a cigar, if you look at a cigar and say, I'm gonna do something just because I think it's gonna sell, you have no emotions behind it. And everything, all this is about emotions. Ultimately, our approach, what I think is right for us at least, is we start with an idea. We know which tobaccos gives you what. We know what we want to work with, and we have a kind of final goal in mind. We say, okay, look, my palate evolved a little bit. I want to go this way. I want to have something new that actually fits different, that fits my new.
Where your palate's at that point in time. Yeah, we've noticed that. A lot of our regular customers are talking about how they used to be real heavy and now they're not, and now they're creeping back up in strength. And I just think the palate goes through a cycle. And, you know, sometimes you're at the heavier stage, and sometimes I'm at a kind of a medium light Corona Gordo stage, where before it was, you know, something that was much more aggressive. So
the Corona Gordo is amazing. That's
it, nice it is an amazing size. But so you have 3 lines of product.
Yeah.
You're really blending with your passion, which is, I think, the right way to go about it. And so tell us about the 3 lines of product and what the product consists of, but really what you were trying to accomplish with the blends.
So it was really 3. So the 3 lines are the core lines, right? The regular releases, the cigars that are available on the full year, which are 3 very different lines, 3 very different cigars, and we really blended them at 3 very different times. And the first one was the white label. The white label is a mild to medium cigar, very flavorful. The idea behind it, I really was a mild medium smoker, but I was kind of craving a little more complexity or complexity that would fit my palate a little more than the habits I had taken at that time, or what I didn't know at that time. So that's how we started about it. And we started with, so the blend is a Habano wrapper, a Connecticut binder, and fillers from Paraguay, Dominican Republic, and Nicaragua. And we only use Seco and Viso. We don't use any Ligero
Interesting.
at all. That was really a test to see how we could blend that way. And
the cigar has a lot of complexity without considering it doesn't have Ligero, but it has that full flavor to the cigar.
So it is, as you say, it is a mild to medium in strength, but it's definitely tending to full in terms of flavor profile. And it's exactly where we wanted to go. So that's when we stopped blending that one. We have a couple of sizes in there, going from something like a nub up to Toros, Churchills, different sizes, Salomones, to the bigger sizes. And then the second cigar was actually blended for our business partner in the US that was importing and distributing us at that time before we took over. The idea was to have something that fits a slightly heavier palate for people that enjoy also stronger cigars, which a lot of people do in the US.
Okay.
But still keeping in mind, so my approach of the cigar was always, I need more flavor, a stronger flavor profile, a higher flavor profile than the strength of the cigar. So in that blend, we started using San Andres Negra wrapper, Arapiraca binder, and fillers from Honduras and Nicaragua, different areas, Habano seeds. And we only used Viso and Ligero this time, no Seco.
That was obvious when I tasted that cigar.
Spicier, stronger, heavier,
it was
darker.
Take note.
Yeah. And so that was the main thing. It was pretty funny at that time for me because it was an interesting way to... I started smoking a little stronger at that time, and I kind of had never blended something stronger. So it was a very fun experience to go through this process. It took a little while to find the right complexity and everything. And that was the second full line. So that's the USA exclusive. We only sell it in the US. And it has a Robusto, a Toro, and double Corona. And then the third core line that came out that we did, that was pretty interesting because it was the first time we did a soft box press cigar. I really fell in love with the San Andres Negra Mexican wrap.
Our
I just
favorite
love
wrapper.
this wrap. It just adds some deepness, some complexity, some richness to the smoke.
Yeah,
it just
a
balances
wonderful
it out.
richness,
And the smell of it is just. I fell in love the first time I smelled it. I smoked it and everything. So I was like, okay, let's work again with this one. And the idea behind that was having kind of old school Maduro, if you want, a medium plus, but really no powerhouse at all. As flavorful as we could, but also something interesting is we wanted to go straight to the point this time. We've always been working with different tobacco, a lot of different tobaccos from a lot of different areas, countries. And the idea behind that one was, how about finding a cigar that goes straight to the point, but with as a small selection of areas as possible.
Why the gold?
Can I turn this a little around?
Do whatever you want. Yeah.
So I would say, so why the gold diamond? The fact of the gold itself, I don't really like it. Not the fact that our cigar has gold, but the fact of when this came to the point of branding, when we started putting this golden diamond on the cigars, the main idea behind it was, instead of having a brand, instead of having a logo, a name and everything, let's create a symbol. Why not creating a second band in gold? I was like, oh, now this is interesting. So that's how it started. We of course went to look into what companies were still hitting the gold and everything, and we found companies in Europe, in France, for example. There are a couple of countries that still do it, not that many. And I remember going to the factory the first time with the gold. So I go there and I go and see Adine, and I was like, we have to try something. It was like, oh yeah, cool. What is it about? I want to put gold on my cigars. I think if he had a gun at that moment, he would have shot me, I think, definitely. And you want the worst of it? The gold leaf sticks everywhere except on tobacco.
Really?
It is really annoying, really. You touch it with your hands, it sticks. You put a scissor, you cut through it, it sticks. You put it in tobacco, it stays on the leaf. It's horrible. So that was the worst thing that happened, actually. But then finding a way to actually put it there, we thought about a lot of techniques, because it's not just a random shape.
Right.
It's really a golden diamond.
And you got to wrap it around the corner.
Exactly. So we thought about a lot of techniques and shapes to put the cigars in, just to be able to just put it there and everything. Nothing worked. And at that point, I remember them looking at me and telling me, just, Sebastian, stop. Let us do it. I was like, oh my God, okay, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
I came back to them, I don't even remember, a couple of hours later or next day or what it was, and they were cutting it by hand, like measuring it, cutting it by hand and applying it by hand, just by looking at where they had to put it, and it was absolutely like spotless. Of course, there is sometimes a little spot or something.
But that's okay.
But it's just everything.
It gives it a handcrafted feel. Instead of just a machine did it.
Yeah, it's not even cut by machine. I mean, everything, those people have been able to arrange it just by their crafting abilities, which is, I still don't understand how they can do something like this. It's pretty impressive.
Sebastian, thank you very much. Welcome to the Industrial Cigar family. And we're on a journey as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun.
Beautiful journey.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you for the welcoming. It's really something special, and I really look forward to be part of your story too, and have that chance, actually.
Excellent.
Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.